Hi YouTube! Today we are going to be talking all about the most popular luxury bags, but cheaper alternatives. So one of the things that is a bit discouraging, I guess, when you're starting out in luxury is seeing all these different price increases and seeing how some of the most popular bags are also some of the most expensive bags in the world. But I've spent a lot of time going through seeing different things that give me the same vibes as those really expensive bags, but at a cheaper price. So first up on the list is the ever popular, ever growing more expensive Chanel Classic Flap. This bag, as of today when this video is going live, has just had a price increase to $8,200 for the small and $8,800 for the medium. The jumbo and maxi sizes are even more than that. This has put it in the same price range as the Kelly and Birkin bags, and I don't feel like it's the same quality. You can't carry as much, but that's a different discussion. So my alternatives, and I've got them listed on my phone, so if you see me looking down, I'm referring to that. First is the Saint Laurent envelope bag in their pebbled leather, which is a lot like Chanel's caviar leather that you'll see on the classic flaps. The small in that bag is $21.50 and the medium is $23.50. I do feel like that because it's not a double flap the way that Chanel's classic flap is, that you are able to fit more in those bags than you are in the Chanel version because that flap takes up space. Now this bag is more structured than the Chanel bag, so you can't just like overstuff it and it's not going to be like as poochy and as soft, but it still has that same kind of look. You still have the adjustable chains where it can go crossbody on the shoulder or hanging down low, still on the shoulder. I think that's a really great bag. It's one that I've looked at for myself. I actually think that's, even as dressy as the Chanel Classic Flap is considered, this bag may even be slightly dressier just because of the fact that it is a little bit more structured. Next is the Gucci Dionysus bag, and that bag it's a classic in the Gucci line, but it still has that same kind of vibe as the Chanel bag. You can still alter the chains, do the different lengths. Now I do find the chains on this bag to be a little bit annoying just because they're loud. They also don't have the same shoulder that the YSL one does, whereas in the Chanel one it has the chain, but it's got leather woven throughout, so it's a much quieter chain. But the small in this one, and this is a canvas bag as opposed to being a leather one, but the small is $25.50 in the canvas. In the small leather it goes up a little bit higher, and it's $26.90 for the small leather, and they do some beautiful colors in these leathers. I love the green color, and I think that it's a really gorgeous green. And then you've got the medium, which is $26.50. So the medium canvas is slightly cheaper than the small leather. And I do feel like this bag probably size-wise is pretty comparable to the Chanel. I haven't looked at the exact measurements. Again, it's more structured than the Chanel because the Chanel is a little bit softer. So that is a consideration, but it has a really cool look and you're still getting that same statement because of the horseshoe that's on the back. Now, the final one that I want to talk about in this category is two bags from Strathberry. I think that the Strathberry Stylist, which is actually a bag that I have on my Christmas list, wink wink mom and dad, who I know you guys watch every week, it is $4.15. But Strathberry is actually, for those signed up for their newsletter, is going ahead and running their Thanksgiving sale early. And so this bag is 20% off, and it's not necessarily every single color, but they do have some of the croc emboss, some of the regular leather, in some really nice classic colors, including in the black croc emboss, which I think is probably the nice one. But it still kind of has that flap thing going on. It's got the chains. It also has the Strathberry bar. And then the other one that I want to talk about, particularly in contrast to the Chanel Mini, which is currently $4,400. Well, it was $4,400 when I was filming the video. It's gone up since then. I don't know what the exact price increase was. I think it was going up to $4,800. But as opposed to the Chanel Mini, look at the Strathberry East-West Mini. This is a bag that I know we've seen on Meghan Markle. I'm pretty sure we've seen it on Kate Middleton as well. And obviously I know that that's not their official titles, it's Duchess of Sussex and Duchess of Cambridge, but just for talking purposes. And that bag is $5.95. They also have that bag on the sale, 20 to 30% off, depending on the color, in the mini East-West bag. And they don't have the bottle green in that one, which is the one that we've seen on Meghan. That bag really doesn't go on sale because it stays sold out. But there are a lot of other really nice colors that they have available in it. Now, moving on to my dream bag, which is the Hermes Kelly, which will run you about $10,000, which if I ever get it, will be a very, very, very long way away. It is a beautiful structured bag, has a top handle, has a shoulder strap. I love that about it. In a similar kind of vein is the LV Capucines, although it is a little stouter than the Kelly, but same type of thing. The LV Capucines, you're looking at about $5,200 there starting out and going up depending on your size and your leather combination. So alternatives include the YSL Cassandra Mini Top Handle. I think this is very similar. It is a dressy bag, but it is very nice structured, beautiful bag, and it is $21.50. Yes, $21.50. I think that that's a really nice bag, particularly in a smaller size. So if you're looking at like the Capucines BB or like a Kelly 25, it's I think around the same size roughly. Also the Salvatore Ferragamo Gancini Top Handle bag. Now they've come out with a newer version of this where it's a bit rounder on the corners. I don't like it as much, but you can still find some of the older styles, which I think is a really very similar bag to the Kelly. You can find those on eBay. You can find them on still on the website. You can still find some of them. I'm sure there are probably still a few floating around in the stores and in the outlets, but it is $2,700 for the medium. I couldn't find the pricing on the smaller or the larger size, but that's still substantially cheaper than both the Capucines and the Kelly. And then the final one that I want to recommend that's similar is from Aspinall of London, and it is their Mayfair bag, which that has been seen on Kate Middleton in the mini size. And they have a mini size as well as I believe it's like a medium size. And again, similar look, and it is $850 to $925, but it often goes on sale for 50% off. So you're looking at half that price for the bag, and sometimes you can even get an additional 20% off that. So nearly 70% savings. Makes that a good option, particularly if you're willing to try that style bag to see if you like it. One of the things I want to point out in this video, I'm not talking about pre-loved options because we could go on for days about pre-loved options. There would be a much cheaper alternative to these bags. I'm trying to focus on bags and give you prices of new in-store bags compared to a new in-store popular version. All right, so the Birkin. The Birkin is probably the most famous bag in the world. It is going to run you at least $11,000 in store. For a new bag, it is very expensive, but it is a gorgeous bag. I actually got to touch one for the first time and hold it over the weekend and absolutely fell in love. I never thought that I'd want a Birkin, and now I happen to be in love with the Birkin as well. But I can at least die if I never get one saying that I at least got to hold a Birkin. But the bags that I recommend for this one, they give me similar vibes. First off is by Senreve, and it is their Monica tote bag, and that's $995. It is in a croc embossed, and while I know that's not the exact same thing as the Birkin, it still has that hand crook of arm carry. I think it has a very similar shape. I don't even know what to call it, but the little tag thing that you see running across the front reminds me a lot of the straps on the Birkin. I think this is a good alternative, particularly if you're wanting to try out this style bag. And I think that it has a really nice look to it, and Senreve is really good quality. Additionally, the Strathberry Midi tote, and we've seen both the mini and the midi on Meghan Markle. I think that we may have seen it on Kate as well, and beautiful bag. It has a similar vibe to it, particularly when you see it with the bar over it. That bar reminds me a lot of the front of the Birkin, and this is a much better priced one. The midi is $770, and it's currently on sale in several different colors, including a gorgeous tealy, turquoisey blue color. 20% off to 30% off depending on the color on Strathberry's website for their pre-Thanksgiving sale. And then finally is the YSL Classic Sac de Jour, which will run you between $2,080 and $2,850. This is a little bit pricier, still much cheaper than the Birkin. You get a beautiful leather YSL bag. It has very similar vibes, and I think that it's also a really good alternative. But honestly, I would probably go out of these three with the Strathberry one. I think that it's similar to the Birkin without looking like you're copying the Birkin, but it has its own very unique look, and so I think that that's probably the best option and the one that I'd recommend out of those three. Now, a bag that has become really popular over the past 2 years is the Chanel 19 bag, and it's called the 19 because it was released in 2019, and I thought that I'd like this bag. I like this bag on other people. I tried this bag on me and it looked ridiculous. Even in the small version, it looked ridiculous on me, and which I was a little bit sad about, not necessarily sad about because of the price. The small in the 19 is $5,200. I think it's going up today, as well as the previous price of the, I think it's like a medium large. I think they call it the large, but it's really more like a medium size. That bag was $5,700, so very expensive bag. But I think that some better alternatives are, well, one better alternative is the YSL Le Maillon small chain bag, and this also comes in lambskin, just like the 19. It is $19.50, and this bag just released last week. I got to try it on. I think that it's a fabulous bag. So I went from trying this bag on to going upstairs to the Chanel boutique and trying on the 19, and I was like, man, like, that YSL bag, much better looking on me personally. It doesn't have the multicolored chains the way that the 19 does, and it is a slightly different style bag. But I think that because it has the different width chains, that's why it still gives me 19 vibes, but at a better price. And honestly, I think that's a better looking bag that will be able to weather the test of time better than the 19 because of all the thick chains on the 19. Another thing that you can do if you're really into the chain look, which is super popular right now, is to go onto a store like Samorga and buy some of their chains and add on to your bags. That way you can take a classic bag and make it a little bit more modern and on trend by adding a chain without having to spend the price to get a whole new expensive bag that might be out of fashion in a couple of years. Finally, the Louis Vuitton Neverfull, and I'm not going to say that much about this because I'm actually going to be doing a video in a few weeks about the bag that I really think you should look at pre-loved. That's a Louis Vuitton bag to get instead of the Neverfull. But if you're wanting a new bag, look into the Senreve Voya tote. That is actually able to carry a 15-inch laptop, which is huge because most bags can't carry that. And it's $850 as opposed to the Neverfull starting at $1690 and then going up from there. Additionally, there is the Gucci Gigi Ophelia tote, and that one has a zipper on it. It's $1350. So that's another alternative if you really want a brand, same type of style, just not the open tote that the Neverfull is. But if you want a bag that I really, really recommend instead of the Neverfull, make sure to hit the bell for notifications after you've hit that red subscribe button and select all. That way you'll know when that video gets uploaded. I upload videos every Wednesday and Saturday and sometimes in between. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye!